Not far from the McDonald Brothers' pioneering burger stand, an unassuming Mexican eatery in San Bernardino planted the seeds for not just one, but two tortilla empires, Taco Bell and Del Taco. I joined Los Angeles Times columnist Gustavo Arellano for a chat and a taco at this local landmark, Mitla Café.
So before we go in, I gotta see this sign that you wrote about in your book, the real Mexican food.
Right up here, little boy with Mitla Café in his sombrero, the serape, real Mexican food, but the real is underlined, and it's looking right across the street. That was Glen Bell's original burger place. He would come back to Mitla, get the tacos, then go try to reverse engineer, and he kept doing that again and again until the owner one day is like, look, I know what you're trying to do. Let me just teach you how to make those tacos. And the owner
invited him in the kitchen.
He invited him in the kitchen, taught him. Glen Bell stayed there about a year, goes about a mile and a half a year later to open up his first taco chain, and the rest is history.
There's a lot going on here. Let's go inside.
Yeah, no. I'm hungry, so
okay,
let's go eat.
So Taco Bell introduced much of the world to Mexican food, but how many people realize that it started right here at Mitla Café in San Bernardino?
Only the people who read my book, not that many people, sadly, but especially the people who grew up here in the west side of San Bernardino where Mitla Café is. This is the historic barrio in San Bernardino. This is a place where there's a lot of civil rights struggles. It's a place of resilience, and it's also a place of damn good food.
So what is the Glen Bell story?
So he comes back from World War II. He wants to make money, but he can't make money selling burgers because the McDonald brothers are literally right up Mount Vernon, already on their way to become, McDonald's.
Yeah.
So then he says, well, maybe I'll make tacos. And his wife at the time and others like, that's ridiculous. No one's gonna buy tacos from a white man. So he sets up his Bell's Burger, a small little restaurant, which is right across the street, sells burgers during the day. At night, he comes and eats the tacos. Then he tries to reverse engineer them. He says that his innovation, he never claimed to have invented the taco, the hard shell taco, but that his innovation was prefabricating the shells to make it easier. Because here at Mitla Café, they still sell those hard shell tacos, recipe almost unchanged since their opening in 1937, but they fry them fresh. That's the key. People come out here to make pilgrimages for this taco. It is legit good food. Are these the tacos that I grew up eating? No. Are these the tacos that I will drive out of my way in order to eat a couple? Absolutely. Salud.
Yeah, cheers. And this is not something that I'm used to seeing on the menu at a Mexican restaurant, right? Mm-hmm. Like a hard shell taco.
You don't see those anymore.
Yeah.
This is a recipe that the founders of Mitla Café brought from Jalisco. So people who say Mexicans don't eat hard shell tacos, that's absolutely not true.
Very authentic.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
Not only that, it's a time capsule to when this restaurant opened in 1937. In his autobiography, Taco Titan, the Glen Bell Story, he gave the address of the restaurant where he got, quote unquote, inspired to make tacos. But when I read it, when I was doing the research for Taco USA, my book, I'm like, I wonder if that restaurant is still even here. And I had never heard of Mitla Café before I started doing Taco USA. So I remember on an afternoon driving out here, I get off the 215, I come up here, I come in the diner, I'm like, I cannot believe this restaurant is still here. Let's try the food. And I've been coming here and telling its story ever since.
Glen Bell, not only the founder of Taco Bell, but has connections to the origins of, well, of course, Taco Bell's main competitor, Del Taco, but then also Wienerschnitzel.
Glen Bell was really the Johnny Appleseed because one of his employees right across the street, Ed Hackbarth, he ended up founding Del Taco in Yermo, of all places, all the way out there in the desert. Glen just thinks of the idea randomly for Der Wienerschnitzel, gives it to his employee who opens it up, and he didn't want any credit for it. It's like, go for it. Here in San Bernardino, it's just this interesting nexus of ambition, of potential, and of transportation. From here, so much of fast food culture spread across the United States. And not too far away in Baldwin Park, that's where In-N-Out is.
On Route 66.
Exactly. Here in the West Side, this was segregated. Mitla Café was sort of an entry point for white folks to feel comfortable with Mexicans, but it was also a place for the Mexican community to meet and unite with the black community. Because San Bernardino historically has been a black city and a Mexican city, and then of course with white folks ruling it. And coming out of here, like in the late 1940s, that's when you have Lopez versus Secombe, which is the case that desegregated swimming pools right here in San Bernardino for the rest of Southern California. and then of course later on in the United States. So it's easy to talk about how delicious the food is, but what makes Mitla even that much more special is its role in civil rights. Nothing against Taco Bell, nothing against McDonald's or Del Taco. They did not play that role. They never played that role. They introduced Mexican food to a wider audience, sure, but they were not giving sustenance to people who needed the sustenance to be able to fight bigger battles.
And that happened right here in this very dining room.
In this dining room, in that banquet hall, in the little bar right there. And it's still happening to this day. They really care about their community. Whereas other people might have left, they're like, no, we're staying here. This is our town. We're gonna make it to what it was and really make it better. Route 66 is almost an afterthought to them. It's like, okay, maybe the rest of the United States forgot about us because it's not Route 66 anymore. That's okay, we're not leaving.
You know?